A super thanks to begin today's show from CJ DeYoung III. Hey, Tom. So what did Darren Woodson do or not do that keeps him from getting into the Hall of Fame? Thanks. I think the biggest reason is, I'm not saying I agree with it, is that the one thing that Darren Woodson is missing is he does not have an all-decade team to his name. And in general, if you are a member of the NFL's all-decade team, you normally get in. Now, my issue, and I think that the reason why that happened, is for some reason, the NFL made Ronnie Lott an all-decade safety for the 1990s. Ronnie Lott had 5 years, 1990 and 1994, was an All-Pro and Pro Bowl for 2 of them. That Darren Woodson had 3 in that time frame, 3 All-Pros in that time frame. I don't really know why Lott was put in there. He was just a clear 1980s all-decade team. Like, I don't know why he won it that in the 90s. If he had that, I think that he would be in already. My real concern for Darren Woodson, beyond I think there is some anti-Cowboy stuff, I can't put another Cowboy in, is I don't know when he's going to get in. Because these upcoming classes are really good. And that's going to be a problem for him. Steven, on a similar note, which is worse, Woodson on making the Hall of Fame and the Eagles winning the Super Bowl? I mean, they both sucked. Make no mistake about that. But the Eagles already won one. I kind of, that first one felt worse for me. I think I feel worse for Woodson in particular. Now, all these came in via Super Thanks, a feature here on YouTube. You can edit your message, send it in, click the thanks icon, whatever it is. We will give you a shout-out on the show. Click that little heart with a $sign if you're watching on demand, i.e. not live, and send it in. A couple more super thanks to get to. From Josh, what has the city of Dallas done for the sports gods to have condemned us like this? The Rangers and Stars are good. Maybe Jerry sacrificed too many souls to get his early Super Bowls. This was in reference to the Micah trade rumors and then, of course, the Luka trade, which was so stupid. David, great show. Dead on. This is on the show from Monday morning about my anti-Jerry comments again. This team was done like it's 20 years ago, hence the retread coaches and the family ties hires. Remember, Jerry said anyone could coach this team after Jimmy left. He still really believes that. It's stagnant. I think Jerry's biggest fear is that it was all Jimmy, that it wasn't Jerry, that Jimmy did it all and Jerry just kind of rode the coattails. I think that's his biggest fear. So he really wants to win his way, and he doesn't want to do it a way that wouldn't get him all the credit. And Steven, too. From Chuck, do you buy the Micah trade rumors? To an extent, sure. Fully, no. The timing of that, the article itself, if you read it, was like, they're also pushing Max Crosby trade, which I don't buy either. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I look stupid. Not the first time. Won't be the last time either. This kind of felt like just general attention getting for NFL Network and for the Cowboys to an extent, too. Also, Rapka emphasizing at least some. Okay, that was the same as like the Deion Sanders reporting of there's at least some interest, and that never was actually all that close. So I wonder if that's the same. Now, what would you do with Micah Parsons? T for you'd trade him, K for you'd keep him. Let me know at the pinned comments of today's show. Gizmo 2703, if you're the GM of the Cowboys, who would you get in free agency? We'll have the top free agent list out there. I am open to doing a variety of things. Like I would, in particular, I would like to sign a veteran wide receiver. You know, that could be Stephon Diggs. It could be Amari Cooper. It could be worst case a Darius Slayton as a vertical threat. I would like to add like a Will Hernandez to my offensive line. I think that'd be a pretty sound move. Then affordable too. I want to overhaul my defensive line room. If I keep Osa, great. If not, I'll sign Javon Kinlaw and Poona Ford. Boom, I did it. And I'll draft somebody, in the first 3 rounds. I'll keep Rico and sign a back. I'll try to find a veteran corner that might be a little bit tricky given the market, to be fair. I will sign a starting caliber linebacker. Maybe it's not Nick Bolton. Maybe it's someone lesser, like a Robert Spillane even. That's not the sexiest name, but it works. And I can do all of that in my budget, too. $20, Dwayne Jackson. Thank you, Dwayne. I know Ashton Jeanty is the number 1 back on the board. Which back in this, at least wear and tear as in mileage? If the Cowboys pass on Jeanty, I would consider Henderson the second. McMillan, if he is still there in round 1. So I think you mean McMillan, T-Mac in round 1. Wouldn't be opposed to Travion Henderson. I do think to an extent, you would be pretty wise if you. And I like Henderson a lot. I would strongly consider him in round 2 as well. I think you'd be smart to consider having a Rico Dowdle-esque. Could be someone better. Could be a draft pick even. I think you want someone to pair with Henderson. He was at his best this year when Quinshon Judkins took on a pretty big workload as well. The SMU kid, Brashard, I think it is Brashard Smith. I think that's his first name. I may be wrong on that one. He's kind of like convert receiver, so he's got a pretty lesser wear and tear on him. Dylan Sampson doesn't have massive wear and tear either. Among like the earlier round, it is Brashard. It is Brashard, by the way. Doesn't have massive wear and tear. Jeanty's got a lot, but a lot of the good backs of this class have a not insignificant amount. But that's how it goes. You play running back your whole life, you're going to have lots of wear and tear. Maybe not as much as Zeke did even. That's why I like Bijan so much, because Bijan didn't have that wear and tear because he got banged up a couple times. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. It is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Florida. And obviously, football season is now over. Basketball still underway. Baseball just around the corner. Our baseball insider, Jack Lotteray, hooking up this one, even if the Durant pick there is him being a little bit of a homer on the Red Sox side. Do the flex play. That way, if you get one wrong, you can still come out on top. You only got to go 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5 to cash out. Download the PrizePicks app today over at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get that $50, win or lose, once for that first $5 lineup. It's PrizePicks. Run your game. Jay Scatton. He comments at his super chat. He says, finally get Garrett Wilson and draft Jeanty. I think he could become a top 5 offense. I also wouldn't mind Tyler Warren. He could do a lot of different things on offense. If I could convince the Jets to give me Garrett Wilson for a second-round pick, I would do that so fast. I do think with the Jets set to move on from Aaron Rodgers, probably means Garrett Wilson stays in New York, which is just them being not stupid for once. I think you can still get Jeanty at 12. We'll see if it happens. I think it's possible. It's in the real range of outcomes. I wonder if Tyler Warren gets to you. He could also end up being a Jet, by the way. That would make a lot of sense to me. I'm going to mock that one pretty frequently, I think. He can do a lot of different things, too. I think you need a second and probably third playmaker. One of them has to be a pass catcher, but one can be a back as well. Probably should be a back. Dwayne Jackson, Tom, select 10-5. Every team in the NFC has made an NFC title game except for the Cowboys. Isn't it every NFC team has made it, period? With the Commanders, isn't it every single one now? Pretty sure it is. It's not fun. And the Cowboys seemingly aren't overly bothered by it. Ronald, Cooper Kupp or Tez Johnson coming with the Junior Adams hire. Again, that's the Oregon receivers coach, now in Dallas in the same role. We have mentioned the Kupp relationship previously. It helps you a little bit. Like, I think it gives you some insight into, like, hey, this guy could be this or that. Like, it helps your draft process. I also, it is a very fine line between like letting your coaches have influence, input on the NFL draft process and like kind of tossing out all the draft work you did and, okay, we took the guy the receivers coach wanted. There's a fine line there. I think Tez Johnson should be under consideration already. And I think where it most comes into play is no one's going to have a better feel for the person that Tez Johnson is, really, than I think Junior Adams. Not to say he's going to be a bad one or anything, or like a bad guy or anything. I don't think that's the case, period. But I think you'd have good insight there. When it comes to getting the much-needed wide receiver help, how would you do it? D for draft, T for trade, F for free agency. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Joshua Castillo, what do you think of Desmond Watson of the Florida Gators? I believe he turned pro this year. Like, I'm pretty sure. I think he went back to school. In fact, I'm like 99% sure that's the case. This man takes fatties only to an extreme even I am uncomfortable with. Desmond Watson is a massive human being. He is listed at 6'5", 400 pounds. That is his listed weight. I honestly don't know if he played at 400 pounds. Now, that's the Pro Football Reference, but I think ESPN had like a 369. No, actually, I'm looking at ESPN. ESPN was at 6'5", 449. He's too big. He's too big. He has to shed weight. You cannot weigh, let's just say it's 400 pounds. You cannot weigh 400 pounds and have that all be good weight. It's not possible. There's bad weight on him. He has to shed weight. He has to drop 100 pounds. Get him to 350, 360, 370 even. And I think we can talk a bit more. But right now, as fun as he is and as fun as the occasional fat guy handoff they give him at Florida, I don't. He did wear 21 to 40. You're right, Ecuador man. I don't think he is physically ready to play in the NFL quite yet. Now, as an undrafted free agent, I want him on my team. I want him real bad because it's fun. Brent Edwards, Dallas can create $100 million in cap space. If they do it, how? Who should they spend it on? Look, I'm fine like going for the Cowboys lineup. We got to save some of it for Tyler Smith and Deron Bland. Cool, it's fine. You need to find starting caliber players in free agency. And you need to know going in, you're probably going to miss on a player or two, or three if you sign like 7 or 8 or 9. But you should go get a wide receiver too. You should have a starting caliber back, even if that's just re-signing Rico Dowdle. You should probably add, one, if depending on what you do with Terrence Steele, one offense lineman. That could be a cheaper guy, but you should have one guy. You should sign probably, I'd sign 2 defensive linemen and then draft 2. Seriously, I would. Because right now I got Mozzie under contract and that's it. I am in dire straits there. You probably got to bring back 1 or 2 of your edges or sign somebody else. You got to get a veteran linebacker in there. I would love to find a way to get an impact veteran corner. That could be tough given the market and the money, but it's an ideal scenario for me. And I wouldn't be opposed to safety either. Like if you're moving on from Hooker and Wilson, go get a safety. I doubt they go pay for Trayvon Merrick, but I would love that. Or Javon Holland coming off a down year. Now we'll have more Cowboys news for you. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out. YouTube.com/CowboysTV. Julian, it's mind-blowing how the script is flipped. The Eagles are built and run how the Cowboys were in the 90s, and the Cowboys are now like the Randall Cunningham Eagles. It's Cowboys legend, Randall Cunningham for you. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have built this incredible team and roster, and they are consistently aggressive the way Jimmy was. Frustrating. I agree. Fred, what draft pick can help us beat the Eagles? In general, you're not one player away. I do want to emphasize that. You're multiple. Now, you can get multiple players. But you got to do free agency, too. You have to spend some money. You're not just a player away. You're not. You need multiple guys. You have too many needs to just be like, we just have to draft this player. There are good players you can get. You have to do more than just one guy. Now, coming on the draft idea here, who is your dream Cowboys draft pick? Let me know in the realistic somewhat. So, like Abdul Carter, Hunter would be great. Yes, it's not going to happen. Give me your dream Cowboys draft pick in the comments of today's show.